liberals are losing their minds over their hate for President Trump. Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy last night appeared on MSNBC, where he doubled down on a tweet he sent over the weekend. In that tweet, Chris Murphy saying, "Can we take the gloves off and tell the truth? Trump is deliberately killing people." He holds rallies where people get affected. On Thursday, no social distancing or masks, sending a clear message that the CDC should be ignored. His plan to kill people, let's just say it. Saying he planned to kill people. So you got a sitting U.S. senator accusing the president of deliberately killing people on national television, and nobody bats an eye. So let's bring in our company, Rob Smith of Turning Point USA, and Grace Curley, executive producer of the Howie Carr Show here on Newsmax, to talk about it. Hi, guys. Good to see you.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
So I already read that tweet where Chris Murphy talks about the president accusing him of killing people. I mean, that's quite a statement from a sitting U.S. senator. How do you square that, Rob?
Well, I don't think you do. And honestly, I was just looking at that clip. I mean, he's crazy. He's kind of like keeps on moving. Trump has really broken these people. He has really driven them absolutely crazy. And this is one example of that. You see a sitting U.S. senator who is just talking in this absolute hyperbole as if the president is actually trying to kill people. They have lost the plot. Trump has broken these people. And at this point, they have gone so far, I don't even know if there's any reining it back in. And there's certainly not going to be any reining it back in if they won't even be challenged on this stuff.
Yeah, Grace, do you think the president is killing people?
Well, I have to agree with Rob in the sense that it is past the point of no return, especially for Senator Chris Murphy. I'll remind everyone here that he was also, I believe, the same senator who said Trump was responsible for the coronavirus, not China. Specifically, he pointed out it was not China's fault, it was Trump's fault. So to Rob's point, it is past the point of no return. And I also agree about the hyperbole. The Democrats have really made their bones now comparing Trump to Hitler and comparing everything to Nazi Germany and it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf. Eventually, people tune you out. They don't want to hear it anymore.
Grace, and I know you've talked about this a lot on Howie Carr, but the thing that I find fascinating is they say things, and this is what Emerald was alluding to, and yet the media doesn't, as she pointed out, doesn't bat an eye. There's a reporter from the Washington Post, and Emerald tweeted this the other day. His name is Dan Zak, right? So I want to show you what he tweeted out. It was unbelievable. After everything that we've all seen in Washington, D.C., he sends out this video from the National Mall that says, here's what's going on in Washington, D.C. It's obviously a site of simply out of control, trying to mock the idea of what's going on in D.C. This is the Washington Post. This is a reporter from the Washington Post trying to send this message that everything's fine here, nothing to look at. This is the problem, Rob, is that the media is complicit with what the Democrats are doing, and they've lost all sense of objectivity.
I mean, they really have. And look, I don't just talk about media and talk about journalists. I used to be one. I actually went to Columbia University's graduate school of journalism.
What step are you on?
I'm in recovery right now.
Okay.
I'm in step like 5.
Okay.
But when we say that these people are nothing more than Democratic operatives, it really is the truth. I remember sitting in classes in Columbia Journalism School and being shunned for having a conservative thought and conservative idea. And so these people graduate from these institutions, then they go to places like the Washington Post, like the New York Times, and not only do they ruin them, but they also see their job is to carry water for Democrats and not really be people that are interested in the world around them. And so this is just another example of it. We see it all the time.
Grace, the thing that I found fascinating about this is so often you hear from the Washington Post, where this reporter works, talk about Republicans and conservatives editing videos, not telling the whole truth, giving a one-sided view of everything. They talked a lot about that with respect to the convention speakers, that this was an alternative reality. And here's this reporter showing a very docile view of the Washington Mall and saying, see, this is what's happening in Washington. Don't look over here. These are not the droids you're looking for.
Right. Don't believe your own eyes. And Sean, you've been seeing that a lot with the peaceful protests. This is a narrative that the left has been pushing for 3 months, that the protests are peaceful. There are no riots. There are no looting. You have a CNN anchor with a fire burning behind him, and it's nothing to see here, folks. Move along. But the interesting thing is that you'll notice in the last couple of days, there's been a switch here because it's been picking up in the polling. So now it becomes the protests and the violence is Trump's fault. But what I want to know, what I've been seeing on Twitter a lot from some conservative bloggers, is what violence? I mean, for the last 3 months, there was no violence. And now we're being told yesterday and today that the violence is Trump's fault, when for months we were told there is none.
So, Grace, that brings up a really interesting point with them having created this alternate reality and now, switching messaging to say it's Trump's fault. Is it too late, though, on the messaging? Have they waited too late to make this change?
I personally believe that they have. I think that most Americans who have been paying attention know that this isn't adding up and that they have waited too long. I mean, things are getting really scary. If you've been looking at the gun sales over the past couple months, it's skyrocketed. So people are paying attention. There's a lot of first-time gun owners, and I understand why they're switching their narrative. I do not think it's going to work.
So, Rob, real quick, do you think Americans are buying their messaging?
I don't think they're buying their messaging. Just like she said, it's coming up in the polls. And honestly, look, we can talk about these things from the right or the left, but I want to know what independents are thinking. Independents are not buying this. Independents are not going to vote for Biden in November. And that is what we're seeing right now. People have been seeing this for months. We know how to listen to our ears and our eyes and not what these Democrat operatives in the media are telling us.
Yeah, it does look like independents are being affected in the current polls that we're seeing. Well, thank you guys. Always good to see you. Sean and I will be right back with our final thoughts on some of the topics we covered today. So stick around.